Hello everyone and welcome to Retail Archaeology and part 2 of our look at this Kmart turned Spirit Halloween store in Mesa, Arizona. Now in part 1 we took a look at the inside of the store, and in part 2 we're going to take a look at the outside. After Mark and I had finished filming the inside of the store, we decided it would be a good idea to explore the outside of the store since this Kmart was so big, and we started by taking a peek through the windows here in the garden center. And this kind of gives you an idea of how big the store is, because you can see a big chunk of the empty store here, but you can't see any of the Spirit Halloween store at all. The last time I had looked through these windows, there were old cash registers and some sparse lawn and garden equipment. And same thing with this out here as well. This is the first time that I've seen this completely empty. We then made our way around the back of the store over to the loading bays for the trucks, and this is always something I like to film, graffiti. Or I guess you could call this graffiti. It's actually written in the dust instead of painted, but there's kind of some interesting messages here, and of course somebody's got to draw a dick. Looks like people were having trouble finding the doorbell, I guess. The dust was pretty thick though. Looks like this stuff's been here for a long time. There's the doorbell right there. It's really tempting to ring that, but we didn't. Now, like I mentioned in the first video, this is actually being used for a Spirit Halloween store, and the reason why we did this is two parts is because that first part where we explored the inside was kind of more of an upbeat video, but as we got back here and noticed how big and barren and kind of empty it was back here, we started to notice evidence of some things that were a little bit more depressing, and I just didn't think they made sense in the other video. This is a pretty big area for the trucks. You have to wonder if some truck drivers spent some time overnight here after unloading. In a few minutes we'll find some evidence of some other people spending some time overnight here. I think these are old doors from the Kmart. Dude, that is heavy. Like, that is solid wood heavy. What's this? Target. I wonder why Target's garbage is all the way over here. Yeah. There's more. When we got on the other side of that wall, we noticed that motorcycle there sitting by itself as we went to explore the last side of the Kmart, and thought that was kind of weird that it was sitting there by itself, and we noticed this was a pretty secluded area too, so we decided to walk back over and kind of poke around those bushes and take a closer look at the motorcycle. And that's when we noticed it looked like it hadn't moved in a while. The tires are flat on it, and so we thought, maybe we should, go peek behind these bushes and see what's going on, and that's when we made a really kind of interesting but sad discovery. We're assuming that motorcycle belonged to whoever has been camping out behind here. Now, thankfully, there wasn't anybody sleeping back there or anything. Like I mentioned, it doesn't look like the motorcycle had moved in a while, and it doesn't look like anybody's been back to this camp in a while either. But it does look like whoever was living here had been staying back here for a while. They've got themselves a little shelter built there, and just lots of junk piled up. But you can see it's pretty much completely secluded from the rest of the parking lot. You really wouldn't know to even come back here and look, and we wouldn't have thought to if we hadn't noticed that weird motorcycle just randomly sitting there by itself. When we walked around to the other side, we found even more of those Fireball mini liquor bottles. Lots and lots more of them, so it's pretty obvious whoever has been camping here has a drinking problem, which is kind of sad, and another reason why we didn't include this in the other video about the inside of the store. That's a lot of little liquor bottles. This Kmart's been pretty much abandoned until the Spirit Halloween store moved in, and it's not hard to imagine this is what's going to end up happening to a lot of the other Kmart stores that will be closing soon. Yeah, this looks like it's probably not. Oh no, I was wrong. Got some bottles of wine. That was. Trying to flip it over. I don't know what this was. Maybe a boombox or something. See the same like cheap brand of cigarettes too, that Traffic brand. Yeah, this was somebody's bedroll back here. See if I can see a date on that newspaper. August 20th, 2018, and it reeks of piss back here. This is the last thing we want to find when we're exploring places like this, but I think it's important to show one of the many issues that we're going to be facing with the ever-increasing number of empty retail buildings we're going to have in the future. As always, thanks for watching.